Hello, it is Diane with Diane's Blue Hearts and Butterflies.com. I am here to share another card that we made for our February Valentine's class. This was using a technique that I saw Karen Titus share. And most of the time when you have a gatefold card, a lot of times you'll see those have a belly band that you slide up and take off. This one is creating kind of a sliding lock mechanism that holds those together. And so when you pull it off, you can open up the gatefold and be able to read the inside of the card. And so there's a mechanism back here that I wanted to teach so that people could use those. I did use some products from the January to June mini catalog for 2021. Those were the Love You Always Specialty Designer Series papers, which kind of have a foil look to them. There's a Rococo Rose, a Blushing Bride, and a Sahara Sand. And so I used these in creating these beautiful cards. This catalog does end in June of 2021, and right now through February, the end of February 2021 is celebration running during this time, where you can earn free products for purchases made in the other catalogs. And so for every $50 you can choose an item in here, $50 of merchandise, or there are a couple of items that require a $100 purchase, such as the Touch of Ink and the Berry Blessings stuff. So that if you're interested, you could check out more information by shopping through my blog at Diane's Blue Hearts and Butterflies.com. I'm also using a stamp set from the main catalog. It's on page 69. It's called Meant to Be. It's been around for a few years now, and I really love this set. I also used a die that is actually retired from the Stitch Labels, but I really thought that it went well with this stamp set. I'm also using the Heart Charms, which are from the mini catalog again. It's on the same page as the Love You Always Specialty Designer Series paper, and it's these little heart charms. And they're very, very cute little charms that can be put on with ribbon or twine or glue dots, however you want to put those and use those. I'm also using some of the white, or you could use the Blushing Bride twine. This is a combo pack from the snail mail portion of that mini catalog. So that's what I will be using here. So let me get everything out that we need to be able to do this. So you start with a card base. This time I'm using the Blushing Bride Designer Series paper. So I chose a Blushing Bride card base. This is 5.5 by 8.5. We will score that here in just a moment. There are the two front door pieces that I cut from the Designer Series paper. These are 5 3/8 inches by 2 inches, and you'll need two of those because there's the two doors. You will also need a piece of Whisper White, or Basic White, since Whisper White is gone now, for the inside for your message. And this is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. You'll also need 4 squares. Now the ones that I used for this project are 2-inch squares, but these can be made to be different sizes based upon the type of thing, a label or whatever that you want on the front. It could be a larger piece that you could use 2.5 or 3-inch squares to do this, but you will need 4 of these. You'll need the label that you're going to put on the front. I have about 13 inches of the white twine and the heart charm. And basically all I did with the twine is I folded it in half, and then I tied a knot around or through and around that one side of this heart charm, and then just tied a bow. And I just wanted it to be kind of doubled over so that it gives it a little bit more of a thickness to this. And then you can just take your snips and cut that other piece where it's looped, and then you can put it on whichever side you want when you get ready for that. So what I wanted to concentrate on right this minute is some of the stamping, and then we will do the scoring. So on this label, I chose one of the hearts that was inside of the stamp set, and I just stamped that in a coordinating color. So in this instance, with Blushing Bride being the main color, I'm going to use the Blushing Bride to stamp the heart. If you wanted, you could even use the other colors, since they coordinate so well, to stamp on there. So stamp that heart on there. And then I just had the Just For You stamp out of this stamp set that I'm going to use the Memento Black and just kind of stamp that across here. And then for the inside, I wanted to use, in this one, You Make Me Happy, because I thought I might give this one to someone other than a girlfriend. So I am still using the black, and I chose the You Make Me Happy and then the Happy Valentine's Day. And then just to create a little bit more interest on the inside, I'm going to use the Sahara Sand and one of the smaller hearts from this stamp set to just stamp some hearts down the side. Kind of meandering along. So let me get these stamps out of the way so that I don't accidentally get it on the other papers and such. And you can either use your scoring board or trimmer, whichever you want to score this piece. I'm going to bring in the scoring board just because I haven't used it in a while for other people to see. There are two ends to the stylus. One is a wider end and one is a smaller end. Generally for your thinner designer series paper, what I was told is you use the larger one so that it doesn't crease the paper so much that it actually might tear it. And then the smaller one is for your heavier cardstocks and stuff. You can use whichever end you feel comfortable with. Now on this one, you're going to be cutting it, you're going to be scoring it just a little bit shy of 2 1/8. But in order for me to kind of do that, I'm just going to pull it away from the edge just a little bit to get that just shy. Because we want the doors to be able to close, but we don't really want them to touch. Because for the sliding lock mechanism, it needs to be able to slide down between these doors for that. And I'll show you that here in just a moment. So I just moved it over a very little bit. And then the way that I've always been able to use my scoring board that makes it easier for me is I lay the stylus down into the track, and then I use my index finger for the pressure, and I just run that along the track. And then I flip this around and I do the exact same thing from the other side. So again, I push it up a corner and then I just kind of pull it away just a little bit. And that's the 2 1/8. Basically that is halving what would normally be on the front side of a card, which is 4 1/4. So it's 2 1/8 on each end. So now let me get that out of the way. And then I'll bring in my bone folder. And for right now, before I mush them together, I got them a little bit too far apart. So I'm going to push, this one probably is the one. Push it in just a little bit, making sure to line up the top and the bottom. And then this is where you can use your bone folder to pull that back this way a little bit. And then I'm going to do a little bit on the other side the same way. I'm going to bring them just a little bit closer together. I probably pulled it a little too far away. I did my first ones with the trimmer, because it's easier for me to see and use. So here, I've got them where they don't quite touch, but they are coming together. So the mechanism is created by the 4 pieces. So 2 of those pieces you're actually going to fold in half. And then where those creases are is going to be the center. So you're going to take one of your squares at the bottom. You're going to put some adhesive on each side of 1/2 of this mechanism. And you don't want it hanging over, so I'm pushing it back. So you're going to line this up so that these outside edges line up here and the crease is toward the middle. And so I'm going to do that on this side. You want it to come all the way over to the edge to meet up. Stick that side down. Then you're going to take the other one that you folded in half and you're going to do the exact same thing, putting the went over. Putting the adhesive. I gotta get it started because I pulled it off too much. There it goes. And again, so you've got the adhesive on this half. You want the folded toward the center, and you want these outside edges to line up with these outside edges. Just make sure you don't have any of that glue hanging over. This should line up together when you put those line together. So you're going to end up with one big piece on the back, the folded edges towards the middle, and then these 2 edges here. Now you're going to put adhesive on the halves again. The top there. So again, if there's any glue hanging over, you just want to push that back in. Now with these 2 folded pieces here, you're going to line up and put your 4th square on here, lining up those outside edges to create this mechanism. And so this is what you will glue the label to. So this mechanism basically creates a slide that you will then put down over your two doors. You'll run those two doors into these pieces that then slides down and locks these two pieces into place. So that's what creates that slide lock. So let's assemble everything since I've got it all stamped, and we'll get these put together so you can see the finished card. Put this piece on the inside, and then I'm going to put the pieces, decorative designer series papers, on the front. And this makes a quick and fast card to put together as well. This has a small border on all sides. So you glue that down, and then you'll do again with the other piece. Put it on the other door. I call them doors. And makes that. Now make sure, and you may even want to go ahead and put this sliding mechanism, go ahead and run those doors up through the center piece, and go ahead and put this in place, and then you'll add the adhesive here for your label that goes on the front. That way you don't accidentally get too much adhesive hanging over on these other sides. And then you would put this, just kind of center it over your little sliding lock mechanism. The reason that I mention this is because that way you're making sure that your slide lock is going the right direction for when you put your label on, so that it's going in the right direction. And then I just took a glue dot and put that on the back of this heart, and then just folded it over a little bit to create a smaller area of the glue dot, and then I stuck that on to here for the front. And that's how you create that sliding lock mechanism for a very pretty card, so that you don't have to use a belly band when you are wanting to use a gatefold. And it's really interesting, and people are always looking for that wow kind of a thing that they can share with somebody that makes them say, how'd you do that? So that's what I wanted to share with this card. I appreciate you taking and sharing your time with me, and I hope that you will check out my blog. All of the measurements are over there. This is at www.dianesblueheartsandbutterflies.com. Also, if you like the videos, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell icon so that you're notified when I upload new videos. Thank you for your time.